Hey guys, my name's Daniel Anderson. I'm an actor, a writer, a youth pastor. I'm a creative artist. I'm the artistic director of a production company. I'm also a son, a brother, a husband, a friend, a colleague. I'm a black man as well. I'm here to share my thoughts and feelings about what's going on at the moment in our world in relation to racial injustice. Rest in peace to all the victims that have died at the hands of racial injustice, or the victims that's died at the hands of injustice, full stop. I'm here to talk about the first thing I talked about, which is racial injustice, and what that means for me as a black British man. I'm hurting at the moment. I'm frustrated. I'm angry with a lot of what's happening in the world at the moment. And the incident with George Floyd is a trigger, I feel, for a lot of black people across the globe. And when I say trigger, let me explain it like this. Seeing the death, the murder, the execution of George Floyd has raised a lot of trauma within the black community. For myself, it's triggered thoughts and feelings and experiences that I've had 20 years ago because of the colour of my skin. It shouldn't have to be the fact that we're talking about the colour of skin, but unfortunately, this is a plague that's ruined, tormented people for centuries.
Hi guys, Jason here. I just wanted to do a really quick video in relation to George Floyd and everything that's going on in the media currently. So first of all, what is racism? And I've just got here that it's the belief due to physical and biological characteristics that one race is either superior or inferior to another. And as a Christian, I just think that is crazy. I think it's unreal how one person can think, or one race can think they are superior to the next, or to a different race. But it's real, and it's true. It happens, and it's rooted in our histories, and it's something that we can be unaware of if we're white. You know what I mean? So there's kind of three things that I've thought of, and I've been doing some reading and learning myself, and three things that we can do. We can kind of look at. So it's listen, learn, and lead. Yeah. So first of all, we can listen. We need to listen to the voices out there, the angry voices, the frustrated voices, the loud voices, the quiet voices. It's all communicating something, right? It's communicating the injustice. And what's more frustrating than not being heard, right? So I feel like listening to someone who is different from you, who's got a different background from you, listening to their story. And it's only then that we start to understand what change needs to look like. Yeah. So the second one is learn. So obviously talking to people, we can learn about things that aren't to do with ourselves. But take a look at history, not just King Henry VIII, but black history. Take a look into that. At the moment, there's loads of these slave trader monuments that are being torn down. I'm oblivious. I was oblivious to all of that. So we can go into history, we can learn about that. Also, there's quite a few amazing documentaries that are coming out now on Netflix, Amazon Prime, different things like that. For example, When They See Us it's a really hard-hitting series about just discrimination in the criminal justice system with these young black boys. And wow, it's really hard-hitting, but it's worth a watch. So listen, learn, and then the last one is lead. So we need to lead with openness, with honesty, and with courage as our lives as examples. And we need to use our words in a way that brings reconciliation and unity as God's children. We're all God's children, right? And with our actions, we need to kind of bring about that culture change, right? So we need to, if we see something that's unjust, we need to say something, we need to lead, we need to be an example. It takes everyone to come together, right? There's no quick fix. This is such a big thing, but it's such an important thing that deserves our effort and deserves our attention. No one is born a mistake, okay? God doesn't make mistakes. We are all born masterpieces, right? So come on, let's listen, let's learn, and let's lead.
Hey guys, in Mark 12, Jesus is questioned by one of the Pharisees on what the greatest commandment is. Of all the commandments we're given, he asked what's the greatest, and Jesus summed it up into two. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind and strength. And the second is this, love your neighbour as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. You know, we serve a God of love, and God is love. And so as Christians, we're called to show love in all situations to every single person. When Jesus says love your neighbour, he's not talking about pick your neighbour or literally the person who lives next door to you. You know, we're all neighbours living on earth. So he's talking about loving every single person as we would want to be loved ourselves. And, you know, words are powerful, but sometimes the greatest powerful tool we have is our actions. And so if we can show love in our everyday actions to every single person, then we're going to radiate the gospel. And the gospel is based on justice and equality. That's what it's about. It's what God stands for. And so by radiating the gospel, we're going to radiate justice and equality. And it's going to be so plain for people to see when we just love everybody.
Hi guys, so Daniel has kindly asked me to film a video for you, just describing my thoughts about the Black Lives Matter and all the protests that are going on in the world today. Now I really thought that it's 2020 and I thought that this would not be happening. I think that is awful that people are still being treated badly just because of the colour of their skin. I read something the other day that said, this is not a battle between whites versus blacks anymore, like it used to be. Now it is a battle between everybody and racism. And this speaks so much truth because everybody is finally coming together to defeat it. You can tell this just because of the numbers of people that have come out to the protests in London. I'm sure a lot of you have seen photos of how many people there actually are. I've been feeling quite helpless because I don't have any money to donate and I can't go to the protest myself. So here's some things that I've been doing and you can do too to help, but for free and without going anywhere. First of all, please sign petitions. These really help, they're free and they literally take 2 minutes of your time. Number 2, please keep sharing posts on Instagram. I know a lot of you have a lot of followers on Instagram and other social media apps. Please keep sharing posts. Don't let this be a 1-week trend. Keep doing it. And number 3, go on YouTube and find your favourite YouTubers. A lot of them have been donating all their ad profits and revenue to Black Lives Matter charities. So all you need to do is go on YouTube, find a YouTuber that is donating, watch their video, watch all the ads through, and you're basically donating without spending a penny. Thank you, I hope you're all okay, and let's beat this together.
I think we now need to look at how do we move forward as a people. How do we challenge racism? How do we cast it out of our society? How do we facilitate this? How do we get people together to have this conversation, to communicate? Black people, white people, Asian people, Chinese people, humans, how do we conversate about this? How do we facilitate a platform that allows people to express how we're truly feeling? Because I don't believe in the violent expression. That's not going to solve anything. Yes, we're angry. Yes, we are hurting, but violence is not going to solve anything at this point. It has to be through politics, yes. It has to be through re-education, yes. It has to be through teaching. It has to be through love. It has to be through forgiveness. So I'm asking yourselves, myself, other people around me, how do we now challenge this issue? How do we talk about the elephant in the room? How do we listen to the millions of other people who have been hurt because of racial injustice? How do we facilitate that? And that's what I'm interested in at the moment. Yes, acknowledge that we're hurting, but how do we acknowledge what needs to happen to heal the wounds, to heal the hurt and the pain? Another perspective that I have to take is I'm a man of God. I'm a man of faith. I'm a Christian. So what's my standpoint in that? How do I navigate my thoughts, my feelings, my hurt and my pain through theology, I suppose, through my faith? And a big part of that for me is forgiveness. How do I forgive those perpetrators who beat me up, who called me names, who isolated me, who alienated me, from school children to teachers to systems, corporate sectors? How can I forgive those people? And that's something that I'm working out for myself. But I think we need to talk, people. We need to communicate. We need to stamp this out. But I think it starts with conversations. And I'm going to encourage any young person who's watching this, who's been through racism, who's experienced it. I feel your pain. I know it hurts. It's hard. But there's a lot of other people like you who are hurting as well, and who are pained by this. Don't react in anger. That's not going to solve anything. We need to react in love, honesty, truth, and just shine a light on how we're really feeling. For those young people who are watching this, from different ethnicities, from different backgrounds, I'd encourage you to listen. Listening's important. Listen to the stories of those friends, colleagues who have been hurt because of racism. Listen. I don't think this world listens enough. We're just quick to get our feelings and opinions out there. We're quick to want to just put our stamp on this world based on our experiences and neglect other people's experiences. That's why I do say Black Lives Matter. Yes, all lives matter. I do agree with that. I'm a man who has been isolated, judged and alienated because of the colour of my skin. So who am I to judge and alienate other people? So yes, I understand all lives matter. But based on the current circumstances, based on what I've been through, based on what my ancestors have been through for centuries, the hurt, the pain, the murder, the trauma, Black lives matter. Black lives do matter. Thank you for listening. Thank you for wanting to have these conversations. Thank you for your willingness. But it's time for change. It really is. My name's Daniel. I want to have these conversations, no matter how challenging they are. Let's just have them. Let's reach out. Let's talk. Let's communicate. Let's listen. Let's love. Let's build together. And let's live in peace. Hope, love, healing, forgiveness. How do we achieve these things as part of the Christian faith? It's important to understand what Christ's perspective of this was. And in Luke 4, verse 18 to 19, Christ talks about why he came, to set the captives free, to heal the prisoners, the broken, the marginalized. Let us use the example of Christ in this period as we move towards hope, love, healing, and forgiveness. Let's have Jesus Christ as our example to move towards equality and justice.